Hey, Dave. Hope you're well. What has stood out to you about this road trip compared to the last, and just considering how well the team is playing?
I think the one thing is we're starting off a lot better than we did the last road trip. I think it's just, there's just a good vibe. Guys are, doing what they can to help us win a baseball game. We know we got guys coming back, but still the starting pitching in particular has been really good. The guys in the pen so far have been great, and just the timely hitting. So we're off to a good start. Like I said, the vibe in the clubhouse really good, and we're looking forward to finishing this thing off today.
And yesterday you mentioned Tony Gonsolin. I know he'll be getting the start with OKC today. What does the plan look like for his buildup after the start? You had mentioned, of course, 5 days rest, but what does that buildup look like for him?
Yeah, I think it's today he's going to go to, maybe into the third inning if he's efficient, and then it's kind of that 5-day regimen. So the next turn will probably be 3 innings, 5 days, 6 days from now, and the same thing with that progression. So once he can get to kind of that 4-inning floor, then we can have a conversation of getting him back with us.
Thanks, Dave.
Yep.
Next question is from Dave Vassegh. Go ahead.
Hi, Dave.
Good morning, Dave.
I remember back in spring training, you said that the Dodgers are a better team with Kenley Jansen as your closer. And what have you seen from him? Not just the way he's been able to really dominate the ninth inning in the last week or so, but you using him in shorter periods of time as far as coming back quicker than just having a couple of days or 3 days off and still being as dominant as he has been.
Well, I think, Dave, my confidence hasn't wavered, and credit goes to Kenley with what he's done. I've used him in the way that I felt is best for him and for us to win baseball games. It's not running away from, as people have talked about, the back-to-back days. And I really, feel that my conversation with Kenley and Mark Pryor, Bardo, and just kind of seeing how he's feeling matter most. And to Kenley's credit, he's responded really well, and he's in a good place. And I just want to encourage him to go out there and attack and be the strike thrower that he is, and everything else takes care of itself. But like you said, when Kenley's closing games, it just puts everyone else in a better spot for our pen.
Dave, with the way that he has responded, with him using him as regularly as you did this last week, does that check off maybe another box for your confidence in going to him, maybe back-to-back days or 3 out of 4 like you did?
Well, I've had that confidence, Dave. I think that stuff outside I really don't pay too much attention to. So I've used him back-to-back, 3 out of 4. He'll be down today. But Kenley's body, the way he's moving, obviously performing, is more confidence for him, to be quite honest. And that's what's most important.
Thanks, Dave.
You got it, Dave.
Next question is from Jorge Castillo. Go ahead.
Dave, yesterday on the TV broadcast, you mentioned 7-8 days for Cody. Is that still the case as you sit here today? And does that mean that Zach McKinstry will be with you guys sooner?
Yeah, I think next weekend is a fair, hope for both guys next weekend sometime.
And today, is Cody playing center?
He is playing center today, and then Zach will be, somewhere playing the field somewhere to start.
And just seeing Gavin play shortstop every day for a while now. How would you evaluate his shortstop?
I'm really impressed. I to be quite honest, I haven't seen him play shortstop very much consistently, and Brandon Gomes, the player development, has been very bullish on his defensive play at short, and it's just validated everything I've heard. So it's just really good to see.
Does that help a guy who's played a position his entire life go back to that position? Does that help him in every facet of the game? Can that bleed over to how he's hitting?
I think so. That's something that you really can't really quantify, but I do believe that having a player take the field consistently where he's grown up playing, I think it certainly adds that kind of normalcy or kind of what I'm used to, and could help with the offense. So, that's more a question for Gavin, but I certainly see there could be some kind of parallels to that. Yeah.
Thank you, Dave.
Yep.
Next question is from Bill Plunkett. Go ahead, Bill.
Morning, Dave.
Good morning, Bill.
The other night you left Trevor Bauer in for a career high 126 pitches. Last night Buehler goes 105, most he's thrown since 19. Is this more about the state of the bullpen, or is there a little bit of a philosophy change about letting guys go deeper and longer?
Well, I think that it's each player and kind of looking at it in itself. And I think Trevor has shown throughout his career that his stuff doesn't curtail it. Actually, you could argue it gets better as it gets to the 100 pitch mark. And then you look at the state of the pen where we were at in his start. So for me, I just felt it made sense. He's going to get an extra day on the back end, I think, or had an extra day going into it. With Walker, I just felt that, again, where our pen is at, I think we've done a really good job of giving him an extra day at times. And so to be able to do that, kind of managing his workload, I think it just made sense in that time. But yeah, I mean, I totally hear what you're saying, but those guys have shown also, Bill, third time through, they've managed the third time through too. So you got to give those guys credit.
Yeah, there were a lot of expectations in spring that because of the going back to the longer season, teams were going to be cutting starters' workload short. We were going to see a lot of 4 or 5 inning starts. But you guys have averaged, longer than almost any other team with your rotation. That's just a reflection of the strength of the pitching, you say?
I think so. And I think that there's, when you kind of go at one way, whether you lengthen starters out a bit, but give them extra days in certain starts, which I think we've done a good job of, or you shorten those guys, you're going to stress your pen. And it's kind of what approach you go with. But us taking care of our relievers and knowing that our starters can go a little bit deeper, I think that's kind of right now where we feel good about.
Different topic. How important has Chris Taylor been to you this year with all the injuries?
Well, you know that when you bring up Chris Taylor, I start smiling.
Yep.
It's just, I can't even put into words, and I could go on for a long time talking about his value for our club and for me. He's banged up, but he still goes out there. He posts, it doesn't matter where he plays. It doesn't matter where he hits in the lineup. Doesn't matter who's pitching. He's still going to be the same person and player to help us win a baseball game. So, yeah, I'm actually looking forward to getting guys like Cody and Zach back, so we can give him a day here and there, because CT's value is his versatility. He spells a lot of people, to be out there every day essentially, but he needs to be spelled at times too, and I just haven't been able to do that for him.
Did you envision this kind of a role or this kind of importance for him when he came over to the team?
I did not. I don't think anyone could have expected this amount of impact, but I'm very grateful that we acquired him.
Thank you, Dave.
Yep.
Next question is from Dylan Hernandez. Go ahead.
Oh no.
Hey, Dave.
Hi, Dylan.
Don't worry, you're winning right now. But 5 of the last 7 games, you guys have scored 4 fewer runs. Obviously Seager and Bellinger are still out. At least from out here, it kind of looks like, your offense hasn't quite gotten going yet you guys have gone on this run, winning games. What does that say about your team?
I think it says it speaks to the pitching. Certainly, we're not giving away extra outs, so I think the defense has been much tighter, and we're just getting hits when we need to. So I know there's more offense in there as far as run production, But it is good to see that we're still finding ways to win where we're not producing as many runs as I think we will.
In the past, we've always talked about Urias in terms of like what he could be, in terms of his potential. How important, given everything that's kind of happened this year, how important has it been for you guys that he's become that guy that can take the ball every 5 days and give you the kind of quality starts that he has?
It was going to happen. I'm not surprised it's happening. Julio, I mean, he's a veteran big league pitcher now, and there's no more project, there's no more prospect. And to his credit, man, in the weight room, his bullpen sessions, his side work, and this guy watches every pitch of every game when he doesn't start, and he's a student of the game and always trying to learn and observe. But certainly, yeah, the value of losing a starter in Dustin May, but having Julio be one of the 4 guys that posts and performs is just been huge for all of us.
Have you seen growth in that area? You talk about the workouts off the field. I know, like, right in the past, we've seen him kind of show up to spring training a little bit, maybe not quite as big as me, but, on the heftier side. How have you kind of seen him develop, I guess, like in the work habits, and what do you think influenced that?
I think, to be quite honest, I think Clayton has a big influence on him. He watches everything Clayton does. And like most young players, they just feel that they can get by with talent, and the little things, the routines and kind of the process aren't as important. But he understands every little detail and how valuable everything is that leads into a start day. So exponentially, he's grown, and probably the biggest growth of anyone on our club, to be quite honest, in the last 5 years.
When did you kind of see that light bulb go off for him?
I think it was, for me, it was a couple years ago, but a couple years ago, I think the light bulb went off going into spring training when he came in really well. But there was a point last year, in the middle of last year, where we took out the full delivery. Took out the full delivery, worked on his changeup, and I think he was just tired of being inconsistent. And he was fed up. And so he just really put in the work to dominate the little things in everything. And from that point on, for me, he just really became a different man.
Just one more from me. I know it's just been a week that Pujols has been there. Just wondering if it's too early, or if you've had enough time to kind of see maybe the influence he's had on other players and what stats look like.
It's not too early. We got him not only because we expect him to perform on the field, but his impact with our guys has been immediate. He brings out, everyone is on there, I guess you can kind of say it, is on their best behavior when he's around. And I say that in a little tongue in cheek, but the way he prepares each day, his demeanor, guys want to kind of please him and because he sets the bar. It's a Hall of Fame bar. So I think that the level of play, the focus, which has always been good, but Albert has enhanced that.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah.
Got time for one more. Go ahead, Eric.
Dave, just wondering, is there a timeline for AJ Pollock? Like, what's next for him?
So he's had a good couple days staying back and running around. With AJ, I would say early next week is I would be very pleased if he's back with us. We have to talk to him more about whether it's live ABs, going out on assignment to take at bats, and listen to the player and feel what he needs to get ready. So the hamstring is one thing, but also feeling comfortable in the batter's box so he can hit the ground running is another thing. So I don't know, but I think early next week is kind of would be great.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks.